Earlier this week, we got some really big, massive gaming news out of Valve. I think you guys know where I'm going with this. Valve revealed this thing. The Steam Deck looks very much like a Nintendo Switch, but the benefits of this particular device are clear. It's basically a portable PC. You can run your Steam games on it. You can still play them on the go. You can buy a dock to dock it on the TV, and it's essentially a Nintendo Switch that runs your PC games. And the cost for this device, it's $400 US for the 64 gigabyte model, $529 for the 256, and $645, I think. I wrote down for 512 gigs. The more expensive two models also come with faster storage. I think this is a very interesting device. As someone who is a Nintendo fan and has the Nintendo Switch, I love being able to just, pick up the device and go pick up and play wherever. And I think that there's absolute value in the convenience of being able to play wherever you go. And Microsoft and Sony sort of tried to do stuff with remote play, with streaming games to your phone and then playing with an Xbox controller. I still think that a hardware-based solution is probably the better way to go, and Steam's going for it. They're going for it with this particular device coming out, I think, December 2021. And I'm curious to see how well it does. I'm very excited at the proposition of being able to play my PC games in a handheld device, or being able to just hook it up to the TV and play with the dock. I know there's a lot of Tetris fans here. Being able to play Tetrio on your TV or play it on the go, that could be very appealing there as well. I am curious about some things such as the battery life. Like, that's going to be an issue, especially the storage space, also a challenge. Like, you can't even install Warzone on the base model of this thing, because Warzone's like 1 billion gigabytes, so you have to get the higher one for at least for that. And then just battery life of, if you're playing a super intense game, how long is it actually going to last for? But I'm very curious to see how the device works, and I look forward to trying this out someday. I don't think I'm going to buy this day one, but I look forward to, I have my fingers crossed that it's good. How about you guys? Are you interested at all in a Steam Deck being able to play your PC games in a Nintendo Switch like format? Do you have any concerns about the form factor? Is it gonna, how does it feel in your hands? Is it too heavy? So on and so forth. Yin says the Steam Deck looks interesting. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting proposition. You don't have to run Steam either. You can install Windows, run Epic Games on it. You can run whatever you want, and that's really cool too, for those who want that extra level of control. Matt says, I think though Nintendo is kicking themselves for not putting more into the OLED version with this coming out too. I see. This is one of the things I wanted to talk about. Like the idea of the Steam Deck as some sort of Nintendo Switch killer. And I see the memes. I actually had to unsubscribe from r/gaming on Reddit because I was just so tired of seeing these types of memes. And not because I'm like I know I'm wearing a Nintendo shirt right now. I think those memes miss the point of the value of the Nintendo Switch. And just because Steam is coming in with a device in a similar form factor with similar functionality doesn't mean the Nintendo Switch is dead. The primary reason why people buy Nintendo platforms is to play the Nintendo exclusive games, and as long as they have that, they're gonna continue to sell. And not to say that there are people who will just rather get a Steam Deck instead, because yeah, certainly. But the idea that Nintendo is doomed because this thing is coming out, I think, is very premature. And I honestly don't see it happening. Nintendo is going to be just fine. Yin says, you're not sure you'd buy it though, since you don't really enjoy handheld stuff. Okay, that's fair. I think there's an audience of people who like part of why they like playing PC games is they want the experience of playing it on their ultra wide monitor with the absolute highest settings, and this isn't going to provide that. You're going to play it docked on your TV, and it's going to be, more powerful than a Nintendo Switch, but it's certainly not as powerful as a high-end gaming PC. Possibly if you want to play Tetrio on the couch with a controller, this could be it. I don't know. Do people play that mostly keyboard? I'm not familiar enough with that side of Tetris to say. It is an interesting proposition, though, and I personally am keeping my fingers crossed that this is a successful device, because I want everything in gaming to be good and succeed and for people to be happy and to have more options. And I think that as a whole, I would like to see devices that allow people to play these games however they want. Maybe I want to play it portably, maybe I want to play it on a big TV, and having that flexibility to do either of those things or play however I want is really a valuable thing that I love the Nintendo Switch for, and I could potentially love the Steam Deck for someday. You're part of the minority that uses controller on Tetrio. Okay. And Blank Zero says that's a weird looking Nintendo Switch. Yeah. And we could talk about the Nintendo Switch OLED thing too, since we're here. Is Nintendo kicking themselves because of the Steam Deck? I'm gonna guess no. I think they also know that the value of the Nintendo Switch is the first party exclusives, and I as much as I want a more powerful Nintendo Switch, and I was really holding out hope we were getting that Switch Pro, and I was disappointed when that didn't get revealed. Well, I don't necessarily think the OLED is the best move. I don't think it's gonna hurt them too much. I think they'll continue to sell just as well as they have, and they can continue to bide their time until they release the next successor to the Switch. And I don't think this is gonna hurt them. The Steam Deck will hurt them too bad either. There will be people swayed for sure, but if you want to play your Marios and your Zeldas and your Tetris 99s, you still got to get the Switch. And that's going to be a big benefit for them. Isn't the sales for the Switch sky high? They've been sky high for years now, and it's still the best-selling console in the first half of 2021. And they, in all honesty, they didn't need to release a more powerful version of the Switch. They could have... They didn't need to release an OLED version of the Switch. They could have just kept selling the same model, and it probably would have sold incredibly well regardless, because they've got the momentum and the games to support that. I just personally really wanted a more powerful Switch so that I could play stuff like a Knockout City or an Overwatch portably without the concessions of Switch running like crap. But maybe that's where a Steam Deck comes in, and I just play that instead.